Right, let's speak now to Alex Wilson, who is Reform UK's London Assembly member. Hi, Alex. Great to have you on the programme. So there you go. Arise, Sir Sadiq, a man so deserving of a knighthood. I'm sure you agree.
Well, I think it won't surprise you to hear that I don't agree, actually. I think what Sadiq Khan has done in his tenure as London Mayor has left a very kind of dark mark on our city. We have a city where it feels far less safe to walk at all hours of the day, a city that's more congested, and a city where it's harder than ever to get on the property ladder. And to reward that record of failure with a knighthood, I think makes a complete mockery of our political system, of our honour system, and I just don't think it's right.
How much, when it comes to things like the city being crowded full of people and rising crime, how much of that is Sadiq Khan's fault personally?
It's his administration. He is the Mayor of London. He is effectively the Police and Crime Commissioner for London. The buck stops with him. He's the man with the motorcade, and he's the man that would be only too happy to take the credit for when things are going well. Therefore, he has to take his share of responsibility when things are not going so well. And all the time that he's been in post, he's put the share of the council tax up again. We now pay in London 71% more council tax, his share of the council tax, than we did when he took office just 8 years ago. And what are we getting for that? I say we're getting a city that feels less safe. We have 15,000 knife incidents last year, 1,000 mobile phone thefts a week. Domestic burglary has effectively been decriminalised. We submitted an FOI request a few weeks ago to the Met and got a figure. We asked what percentage of domestic burglaries in outer London result in either a charge or a summons. It's just 2%. What? This isn't a city that's working well.
No,
and to reward the leader of that city with this honour, I mean, the real honour in politics should be serving the electorate that put you there. There shouldn't be any need for this kind of gong, but certainly when you have a record that is equivalent to Sadiq's, it really isn't right at all.
Now, we don't often get to see him in action. It's not like we have much televised things that are going on in that funny building down the river. So we don't really get to see the debates and the discussions that happen in the same way that we might do in Parliament. But how often is he sort of there representing himself as Mayor and being held to account? What's he like?
Oh, we have regular Mayor's Question Time sessions, which are streamed online. I know they're not kind of prime time viewing compared to, say, PMQs, but they are broadcast online. You can watch those, and all the Assembly members, we all get our opportunity to ask him questions, and I'm doing that to the best of my ability and as much as I can, and within the time frames that we have. As a single member, I only get a very limited amount of time, whereas the other groups, because they're obviously much larger, they have much greater time to question him. But no, we do all that, and we also use social media, things like that, to hold him to account, because there's a lot of things to hold him to account for. But back to this question of the peerage, knighthood, not peerage, not yet.
Oh yeah, I love how you put yet in there. You know it's coming.
Of course, who knows? But no, it's not really a great surprise, is it, though, that Keir Starmer is rewarding failure, because ultimately, at the end of his time in Downing Street, he'll be expecting a reward for a similar record of failure. So it's just setting a precedent. It's the political class looking after itself and forgetting the people who put them there.
I have a feeling, come the end of his time in Downing Street, Sir Keir Starmer's just going to get as far away from politics as possible. I don't think he's having a good time. If gossip is to be believed, I don't think he really likes the job. Whereas Sadiq, he loves it, doesn't he? He loves it. And it's a shame we don't limit the amount of terms a mayor can do, or do we?
No, there's no limit. He can stand, as long as the Labour Party want to keep putting him up as candidate, then he can keep standing. So really it's up to the electorate for the next election, which will be far more competitive, I think, because of the national context being so much different now than it was at the time of the last mayor election just a few months ago. I think it'll be much more competitive, and all bets are off.
Yeah, well, one hopes, but, the huge demographic change in London, you're kind of thinking, they know what they're doing when they sort of engineer it so they get re-elected forever and ever. And I have a feeling that Sadiq Khan's strategy might fall into that category. Alex, thank you ever so much. And before I let you go, what was your highlight of 2024?
I think it has to have been getting elected to the London Assembly, which it was the first time that Reform UK had someone elected to a devolved body. At the time, we obviously didn't have any MPs. It was before the election. And it helped to give the party a real platform and sort of credibility to show that we can get people elected. And that then translated into the success we had in the general election. And now everything that's happened since, you've seen our polling numbers are off the scale, our membership numbers. That's been the big story of this Christmas period. We're now about 25,000 members ahead of the Conservatives. But all that started, for me, back in May, when I got elected to the London Assembly. It's been the honour and privilege of my life to do that job. Got 3.5 years to go, keep going at it, and then I'll be using that time absolutely to challenge Sadiq and his record.
Well, congratulations. You must have been therefore Reform's very first elected individual, is that right?
We've had a few councillors elected before then, but certainly at either devolved or parliamentary level, the first one.
Well, congratulations, belated congratulations for Reform's big breakthrough this year. I think 2025 is going to be a very exciting year for that particular party. Alex Wilson, thank you ever so much for joining us. Let's do a couple of messages. Someone said, why has Christopher Biggins never been honoured? He's amazing and it's definitely overdue. But not the name I would have thought of, but I don't know. Right.
Well, services to Christmas pantomimes.
Yeah.
He's a very nice man.
Love Panto.
Yeah.
Good morning, Alex. Watching all those Liberals going into meltdown on the election of the Donald was my favourite moment of the year. Best week's entertainment of my life. Actually, that was good, wasn't it?
It was. It was funny.
Crying, saying they want to leave America. Half of them are coming here. I'm like, oh, blimmin' it. Can we just do a trade? For every one we have to let in, can one of us escape?
Yes, I think we should.
You know, Ellen DeGeneres can go to wherever she's gone, and I'll go to Florida. Thank you very much.
She's gone to the Cotswolds, where she's getting flooded out.
Yeah. Oh,
Florida.
Regret that decision. Yeah, Florida. I'd like Florida. Now, you know, Mike messaged us about his book.
Yes.
Yeah. So he sent us information. Mike from Lincoln again with more about the book. My book details the unexpected and eventful turns my normal, in inverted commas, life has taken. Besides my RAF commissioned service as a scribbly. What's a scribbly? I feel like it's going to be a navigator or something, maybe. I don't know. He'll no doubt send us another message and let us know. I also did 10 years in the diplomatic service. Here we go. I've had a gun stuck in my face, been seconds from a mid-air collision, been struck by lightning in an aircraft, been locked onto by an SAM. What's that? Surface to air missile, maybe?
Surface to air, yeah.
Made 2 emergency landings, accidentally driven through a Russian missile battery, had a laser sniper sight trained on me in the street, had to deal with a suspected bomb, been the target of at least 1 honey trap, nearly bled to death, rescued 2 children from drowning in India, been threatened by people working for the Azeri mafia, been on a murder ID parade, worked on a movie with 3 Oscar winners, and I might have inadvertently eaten someone.
Wow.
Right, we all want that book. Mike.
We need this book.
News UK, London Bridge, ping it over. We want that.
We need that.
None of this should have happened to me. None of this should happen to most people, can I just say, given my humble origins and rather mundane administrative roles that have been my lot. I was not in routinely exciting jobs. Were you not? Or even a frontline soldier who might face such unusual events as part of their day job. And this background fact forms the context of my story. So if you weren't serving on the front line, you had a routine admin job. How?
I was going to say, that was the wrong way to turn out of the door on the T-boat, wasn't it?
Building, you know, up to the final. I might have inadvertently eaten someone.
I mean, that I can't quite comprehend.
Okay, all I want to say, Mike in Lincoln, you've convinced me. I want the book. Please ping it in the post. And if it's good, we'll get you on the programme.